Shalom Aleichem Rabotai. We are continuing our limud in the Mishnah Yomi in the second parak of Bikkurim. We are at Mishnah number 10. And yesterday we decided we were not going to play koi with you, and we started teaching about the koi, which is some sort of, is it a behema? Is it a chaya? We're not sure. Chazal's not sure. As we mentioned yesterday in the Bartanura, he says it could be the ayil abar, a wild ayil, or it could be a hybrid of a goat and a tzvi, or it could be something that it's its own species, something buffalo-like or similar. Because of the doubt, it has unique halachot to be stringent. So Mishnah Yud explains, Keitzad shaveh lebehema. How is the koi like a behema, a domesticated animal? Chelbo aser kechelev behema. Its chalev, which is the fat on the kishkes, is forbidden to eat like the chalev of a behema. We mentioned yesterday that we don't slaughter a koi on Yom Tov, and if somebody did, then they can't cover the blood. We explained yesterday, because somebody's going to see if you cover the blood of a freshly slaughtered koi on Yom Tov, they'll say, hey, he's covering the blood, it must be a chaya, and then he'll go home and kill his own koi and eat the chalev. But we're not sure if you can eat the chalev. That's the Mishnah right here in Yud. The chalev could be like a behema, if the koi is like a behema, and it's aser. But he's not chayiv karet for it, because again it's a suffix, because maybe the koi is a chaya and the chalev would be mutter. Ve'enu nilkach b'kesav meiser lechol b'Yerushalayim, and you cannot purchase a koi with your money of meiser sheni to eat it in Yerushalayim. So what's going on here is when you get to Yerushalayim, we said you could buy a behema, but only to bring as a carbon. So when you bring your kesav meiser sheni Yerushalayim b'mheir ve'imenu b'ezrat Hashem, you can buy a behema, but you're going to eat it as a carbon. Now the koi, it's a suffix if it's a behema, so if it was a behema, it should be a carbon. So you can't buy it with meiser sheni money. Of course, if it was really a vadei chaya like a tzvi, you could buy it with meiser sheni money and eat it too. Actually, strike that. I think I'm wrong. I think I misspoke. I don't think you can buy a chaya with meiser sheni. I think rabbinically, if I recall correctly, it's been a little while, rabbinically the sages said you can only buy cattle or goats or sheep with meiser sheni, because you have to bring it as a shlomim, because they want more shlomim, they want more karbanot in Yerushalayim. So rabbinically, the meiser sheni money has to be spent on a animal, which can be a carbon shlamim, and again, the koi being a suffix cannot. The Mishnah continues, v'chayiv bizroa l'chayim keva, and you have to give the zroa, the front leg, the lichayim. That's not a lichayim, but that's also good. A lichayim is the jaw, the cheek. The keva is one of the stomachs. You have to give these to the kohen. These are matznot kahuna that are taken from a behema, but not a chaya. Since it might be behema, you need to give the matznot kahuna. The kohanim like l'chayims also. Rabbi Eliezer Poter. Eliezer says you don't have to. She'amotzi mechaver olav haraya. The kohen would technically have to prove that it's a behema in order to extract the gifts from you, and you can't prove it's a behema because the sages are mesupak if it's like a behema. However, the sages do say it's a good idea. Lechatchila, you should definitely be giving these gifts to the kohen and the l'chaim. Also, great. Let's move on to Mishnah Yud Aleph. Keitzad einu shaveh lo l'chaya lo l'hema. How is a koi neither like a wild animal or a domesticated animal? Aser mishum kiloyim imachayim behema. You may not crossbreed your koi with a wild animal or a domestic animal. It's interesting. One of the shitot is that the koi itself is some sort of kiloyim between a tzvi and a goat. Hakotev chayato uvchemto livno. Somebody is writing a shtar, and he's giving over gifts to his son. Now, it's interesting, his son inherits automatically, as we've discussed recently in the Daf Yomi, in Ketuvot. So here he's writing, because he wants certain sons to get certain things, so he's writing over his chayot, his animals, or his behemot, his domesticated animals, to his son. Lo katav lo atakoi. But even if he wrote all of his chayot, and all of his behemot are to Ruvain, his son, Ruvain doesn't get the koi, because the koi might be neither. It might be a birya b'fnei atzma. That's one of the opinions. Im Amar, and if he says, Hareini Nazir, shezeh chaya, I'm a Nazir if this animal right here is a chaya, or he says, O behema, or he's a Nazir if this animal is a behema, Hareinu Nazir, he's a Nazir misafek. This is interesting because we've just covered this issue in the Daf Yomi in Nedarim. Now, we just started Nedarim less than 2 weeks ago, so there's still time to jump into the Daf Yomi. Also, if you need a little above and beyond from the Mishnah Yomi, But it's a complex issue. If somebody points to an animal and says, "Hey, if that's a chaya, I'm a nazir," or points to a man and says, "If that guy's a nazir, I'm a nazir." So technically, it works as a naziris. Naziris is a form of a neder. So he's pointing to this animal and saying, if it's a chaya, if it's a behema, now out of suffix, we make him become a nazir because it might be a chaya or a behema. The Mishnah continues, Shar kod drachav, and all of the rest of the matters of the koi, shavin l'chayla behema. It's like a chaya and like a behema, like a normal animal species. Ta'un shchita kazay kazay. It needs a proper kosher shchita, like a chaya or a behema. So we learn from here, this koi is not a fish. So if you've heard of a koi fish, that's not what this is at all, because fish do not need a shechita. Even though fish do not need shechita, they should probably be dead before you eat them because of al tishaksu et nafshotechem, because that would be really disgusting. But we'll get into that in Masechet Chulin, Bezrat Hashem. Umetame mishum nevela mishum aver min achai kazeh kazeh. And the koi also has tame. If it's a nevela, if it's a roadkill, it died without a shechita, then it has tumas nevela, like chai and behema does, and aver min achai. If they ripped off a limb while it was still alive, then it would also be a problem. The Mefarshim note there's other ways that the koi is like a chaya behema. The blood is asur, so don't think you can drink the blood of the koi. And of course, not just nevela is a problem, but also treifa. If you went ahead and slaughtered the koi and it had a tarfus, it had a defect that would have been fatal, that is also forbidden to eat. So otherwise, enjoy your koi.